that song is like, what are you doing, dude? Like, what are you doing for real?
It's the ultimate pushing back.
Yeah, I guess. But there is like,
okay, that I don't.
like I don't.
Joe Rogan is talking about Kanye West's new Nazi single, and in this clip, Tom Segura is on Joe Rogan show to talk about it, and Emma Vigeland and the boys at the Majority Report with Sam Cedar have a discussion about it. So it's me, a guy talking about people, talking about guys, talking about people, and welcome to the internet. So why don't we watch this together? I will have some more opinions to add, and then I want to know what you think in the comments.
Kanye's new song. I don't know if people have heard it, but
he's got a whole new album. Don't just get stuck on the single.
Oh, the album with the swastika cover, or was that just his T-shirt the other day?
I think one of the deep cuts is like, I gave oral sex to my cousin.
Oh, I heard that. Oh, don't you worry. Don't you remember I played that out on my phone on the speaker?
The album cover, I think he removed the swastika, and it's now like him in a KKK outfit or something like that. To be clear.
Is this Cuck?
Nice?
Is
What?
that the album?
This is Cuck. Yes, this is Cuck.
To be fair, the new song, which I won't say the title of, is way better musically than the Cousin song. Just in terms of
You're
like,
about to.
I mean, look, the
You're
beats have
about to
always
hear Rogan make
been
that
there.
case. What?
All I can
What'd you
say-
say?
Yeezus beats were great too.
Yeah.
No, but I literally think there's a point to that though, and I think it is dangerous because it's specifically made as an earhook song. Like it's not like so.
It's not a good song. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Cousins is really bad.
No, right. But there's a way. Like it's not the exact same, but think of commercial jingles. Those aren't good music. That's not good music, but it's created in a way specifically to get it caught in your head, so you're sharing the sentiment in the commercial. I really do feel like he went out of his way, or his producer went out of his way, to make this song that, because that's what it is.
Well, you guys share an opinion with Joe Rogan here. Who says we can't build bridges? He also thinks it's catchy. This is his take on it.
I'm not saying it in a good way, though. I want to be clear.
Well, takes it. He'll grant the premise you guys are talking about, but he takes it in a different direction.
Me too.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Speaking of the Jews, have you seen fucking Kanye's new song?
Bro, what? Here's the thing.
Wait, okay. Speaking of the Jews, we're already in a really bad spot here.
I'll just say, like, fuck Joe Rogan. He's somebody who, when Jordan Peterson was on, said, and they were talking about anti-Semitism, went out of his way more than Jordan Peterson did to make sure everyone knew that it was a left-wing problem. He's a despicable actor on this. Despite that, every once in a while people clipping him say something like supposedly based. I guess let's run.
Bro. What? Here's the thing.
What?
My
First of all, kind of catchy.
Well, that's the problem with it. That's the problem. It's
Yeah.
like the guy from production, like he's never lost a step. He can make a beat. He can
He
he's so
didn't produce
talented.
this one.
He's a genius.
He's a talented producer, man.
Disagree.
I do think it's like.
Karen,
First of all, I think people are kind of done asking him questions because most of the shit he puts out is like self-release kind of commentary or thoughts. Because he's saying just fucking crazy, you know.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
But there is a thing where that song is like, what are you doing, dude? Like, what are you doing for
It's
real?
the ultimate pushing back.
Yeah, I guess. But there is like,
Okay, that I don't.
like I think I have a pretty, let things go kind of vibe to me. Right?
Obviously.
Yeah,
Your fucking
right? Like,
show.
Yeah, like, I
your
don't.
show's ridiculous.
It's a ridiculous show, and I've always been like, yeah, say whatever you're gonna say. But I do think like making a catchy song about that, I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like you're just getting, at a minimum, you're just gonna get more people that think it's cool to say Heil Hitler. Like that's at the minimum.
Well, I think that's part of the program.
Yeah.
I think it's part of what he's trying to do.
But I mean, is that cool to do? I guess if you're like, well, it's fun to troll
The big question.
masses and get them to do that. Okay, but what I'm saying is that like at a minimum, you're going to get less educated people to go like, this is a fun thing to say, and you're like, I mean, is that good? You really want people just walking around and be like, it's tight, man. How Hitler? Like, that's fucking insane. It's crazy.
It is crazy. But it's also kind of a sign of the times.
I guess.
This is a chaotic world we're living in.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this kind of highlights the benefits. I mean, I want to say this like carefully because I don't want to think I want to say real clearly. I don't support.
I don't want to piss off half my audience.
I don't think it's a good thing to say.
No,
I don't say it. I certainly don't think. I don't think.
You denied that Elon Musk threw 2 Hitler salutes like a few months ago. You said it was derangement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any racism is good. I'm saying that. I don't think it's a good thing to say.
No.
I don't say it. I certainly don't think. I don't think any racism is good. I don't think anti-Semitism is good. I don't think anti-Christianity is good. I don't think
big racism.
Hate, I don't think anything is good.
All religions matter.
There's a benefit to just letting people talk. Like, let people say whatever the fuck they want to say, even if it sucks. This is the benefit of Twitter. But this is also the bad part. It's like the fucking song has so many millions of hits on Twitter. It's been banned from every platform.
Yeah.
But is it good to ban things from platforms, or is it better to let it be out there and let people talk about it? Because if you ban it, then people want to hear it more. And then it becomes more popular. And then
Here we go. That was what I just wanted to get to. This is where the free speech debate has gone, okay? It's not on YouTube. It's not on Spotify. It's not on Apple Music. But you know where it is? He did mention it there. It's on Twitter. It's all over Twitter. And you got people doing TikTok dances on Twitter. I shouldn't even rope TikTok into this. Doing dances to a song called Heil Hitler. Like, I don't know, dude. Could you take a moral stand on that? Because this isn't free speech. It's driving me crazy.
Well, so
we have standards and regulations, and we did have that previously for things like television. We deregulated television in the 80s and into the 90s, but you still can't say certain things. You can't say profanity on certain channels until a certain time. You can't advertise certain things without disclaimers, etc. Like, there are regulations.
Yeah, and to Emma's point, you know, this idea of everybody can just say whatever they want and it's all equal, like it will somehow regulate itself, is bankrupt. I mean, it sounds egalitarian, but I mean, the bottom line is, especially on the internet, which is a huge accelerator for this, lies spread more quickly than truth. Lies are stickier than the truth. Lies are much easier than the truth. So misinformation, disinformation, this rampant rise of multiple realities, of the degradation of what is true, is a result of this. And it pertains to cultural stuff too. Well, it's like, well, my opinion weighs exactly as much as your opinion, so therefore anything is valid. Contributes to a breakdown of society. I'm not a person that advocates for censorship explicitly. I believe that the First Amendment is extremely important, and it does protect a person's right to say what they want. You know, there are parameters even on that, but they are extremely broad. The latitude you have under the First Amendment is extremely broad. But that being said, as a society, I think we have to have some guide rails that are like, this is abhorrent. Like, you have the right to say it, and we will protect your right to say it, but it's not cool, and it's not valid, and, you know, it's not everything's, just because you have the freedom to say it doesn't mean everything that occurs to you to say is okay.
Was that an incumbent? Was that a way to attack free speech? Because this is the same thing. We just don't have the same regulations for our new communications platforms, which is social media. And so, yeah, we wouldn't on television have air somebody singing Heil Hitler over and over again. So we also shouldn't be able to allow it on our major communications platforms. And this is not a free speech issue, idiot.
I also just want to point out, and maybe this will come across like I'm making excuses for Kanye. I'm not making excuses for Kanye. I don't think his music has gotten or stayed as good. I think it's gotten a lot worse, and a lot.
Yeah, that was an outrageous claim by Tom Segura.
I think that really is just well, he's so famous and so rich. I don't want to come across as being like out of sync. I think his music is like just really not good, Hitler aside. But like Kanye. excuse me, seems like he's having a mental health crisis, like, and the right wing is forced to treat it like he's just being normal, like he's just trying to troll.
They did it with Fetterman. Remember, like, they were trotting out Fetterman on Fox News and all that stuff.
Yeah, because he's still very famous because he's Kanye West, and now he's saying things that they can, so at least some of them, like the Nick Fuentes types, can genuinely be aligned with. And then of course he's indexing this larger, like, well, I don't want someone as big as Kanye to be cancelable because what does that say about me? That kind of like status defense that public figures engage in no matter what happens or what the person does, because they're afraid of how that blows back on them. But Kanye is not doing well, and I think this is a cautionary tale of like the dangers of being in a position of really high prominence and the ability to put people on, and how they will enable you to the point in which you like self-destruct and pretend like things are just like okay. Also, like I can concede part of Joe Rogan's point that like making something taboo does oftentimes cause a subsection of the population to fetishize it, but we've also cultivated that mentality in people. People like Joe Rogan have actively cultivated that mentality in people, right. And now people can like monetize it. So it's not as though people are just like biologically entirely predisposed to engaging in like pursuing out the taboo. It's that like there is a subsection of the population who's become very cynical about their chances in the job market, and now they're just trying to monetize like slurs generally. We have more professional racists now than we've ever had in our history of the country, surprisingly, including probably slavery. And now people are just like mirroring that. That's why they want to put Kanye West on, because they're parasitic to Kanye West. He has billions of dollars probably still. It's very sad, the kind of situation and economy we've created, and presenting it as though Kanye's just trying to mess with the set dressing. It's like, no, even the song says what's going on. The song is just like, I'm having a mental health crisis because my wife left me and all these other things happen. Right. And so I'm promoting Hitler because my kids will at least hear about it. And like it's very sad. And they're just like, oh, this is, look at how like good of an artist he is. Like this, to me, same with the John Fetterman thing. Like I feel slightly sad for both of them, because there are clearly people around them that don't care enough about them to see that this is headed in a very bad, very dark direction.
I mean, YouTube has for a long time had a policy where it removes content that glorifies Nazi ideology. Is Joe Rogan? First of all, I don't remember Joe Rogan having a problem with this until Kanye got involved here. So is the idea that free speech is really for the people at the top of society to continue doing what they do and not getting impeded by it? Of course, like nobody should think that Facebook also should allow the president of the United States to break their moderation thing, but that's really what free speech is for these guys. Or certain people don't have to be edited by the Intercept or something like that. Like free speech is to let the elites cook.
But is he saying anything about the students that are not anti-Semitic, that just happen to be Muslim or Arab or Palestinian?
He's saying there's a lot of anti-Semitism on the left.
Yeah, I mean if you are a free speech advocate, if you are a free speech advocate and you are not raising hell about the imprisonment of people for their speech, but you're now saying Kanye should be able to sing Heil Hitler on Spotify for free speech, gotta say, I don't really know if I believe and buy the sincerity of your free speech beliefs.
Well, again, it's completely disingenuous, right? I mean, the end goal is the degradation of what we consider to be true. There is no truth. Truth is subjective, alternate facts. This benefits an authoritarian regime because once they break down what is true, they sway people in a free media society over to believing their lies, enough people, and then they start shutting down the free media. So then it becomes state media, like in Russia, where the only thing that people have access to as news is whatever the state wants to dictate as the truth. So, I mean, it's a playbook, and they're doing it, and it's been done elsewhere, and now we're doing it here.
Right. I mean, if Joe Rogan is such a free speech advocate, Spotify pays him a lot of money to have his show. Why doesn't he put his foot down and say, I'm not producing a show for you anymore if you don't put Kanye West's song on Spotify? Why, such a free speech advocate, why doesn't he use his power to and do something about it and demand it and withhold the work that Spotify pays him a lot of money for unless they do it? Or is Joe Rogan not just not so committed to the free speech cause? I mean, in reality, the thing is, what's happening to Kanye West isn't even a free speech issue. These platforms have every right to say they don't want to put this stuff out there. Kanye West is not facing any sort of repercussions from the government for this song. He's free to put this song out there on any platform that'll have him or release it himself. There's no jail time in Kanye's future due to the release of this song. On the flip side, though, we just saw numerous students, as Emma brought up, who were jailed for something as small as writing an op-ed in the school newspaper that was critical of Israel. I mean, which is the real free speech issue?
Which is the real anti-Semitism. I mean, that's like what is so obvious here with the humor with which he treats this song. Like, I used to be a huge Kanye fan. I understand he's having a mental health crisis, but like, this is not really that new. He went to the White House.
Slavery sounds like a choice.
In a MAGA hat. Yeah, like it's been maybe a decade of downward spiraling, but there's also I don't know what's going on, but anyway.
He's addicted to nitrous oxide.
Yeah, allegedly, yes.
I mean, we've seen text messages.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "Can you bring the nitrous?" I mean, I'm not ready to diagnose him professionally. It seems a pretty strong indication. But here's this thing I was talking about with Rogan and Peterson. Listen to the way free speech guy Rogan is talking about the most important free speech issue of his entire generation.
Anti-Semitic guys. There's plenty of anti-Semitism on the left too, by the way. So it's not unique to the right.
Well, but particularly now.
Yes, particularly now.
Right.
And so,
what does that mean? What's that mean? Particularly now, anti-Semitism on the left. What the fuck could he possibly mean? What's the most generous interpretation of that? There's not one. He's part of the McCarthyism.
There we go.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think a lot of people like Joe Rogan, when they say freedom of speech, and I'll always hammer this point, they just mean freedom from interference in their ability to commodify whatever they want. They're public figures who are deathly afraid that they might be deplatformed because that's the way they make money. And they're trying to make that a larger anxiety for the rest of the population, as though like we all suffer if Joe Rogan can't make a podcast because there's some sort of larger implications on our civil and human rights. And that's why they're just not interested in the actual implications of our civil rights and things like, although I think Joe Rogan did speak out briefly about the people being taken into custody by plainclothes ICE agents. It's hard to keep track of everything he says in this 3-hour show, but certainly not to the degree that he speaks out against other things he actually doesn't like. He didn't harp on it for 18 episodes like he does against like trans people in sports or things like that. So, we can see what he really cares about. But this is a very, key point when it comes to like people arguing for free speech online. It's very often just like freedom to monetize content. When they talk about you're not allowed to say the N-word, they don't mean you can't say the N-word. They mean you're not allowed to say it on YouTube to monetize it. It's not like, and that's a very American thing. It's not freedom unless it's like, put in the framework of monetization or commodification for a lot of people.
Yep. Jerry at the Beach, hot take, Cousins is Kanye's best song since he went Hitler mode. Feral All Alpha Shitter says, I am to tattle on Brandon for implying Emma has big feet last week when Emma was out. Can I understand the context of that?
I don't even understand the context of it, but I probably said something. No, I said Sam.
I do have bigger feet. I probably shouldn't tell my shoe size, and I'll end up on some website.
That's a very bad idea. I can tell you that for free. No, I think I said Sam had big shoes to fill.
Yeah. That's true. I made the mistake of wearing like open-toed sandals on camera once, and can't give.
Should probably change the subject. Someone's probably clipping this.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I don't mean to get everybody so excited in the audience. Your Left Testicle writes in, this is why you shouldn't attend these overpriced private universities. They drain your pockets, rely on government grants for research, but because they have a board of trustees donating buildings, they can violate your First Amendment rights as a private actor. Yeah.
Well, I mean, for a lot of them, you're the commodity. You're not like, they don't want you to have like a democratic say in the way. I'm not sure if NYU specifically is invested in Israeli companies or products, but, that's part of a larger conversation about people wanting to, again, be able to monetize whatever they want to monetize without that blowing back on them in any, in any negative way.
Right. Val Shells, I don't think there are unions for comic book artists or writers. Saw a few years ago some people were trying to put together one, though.
NYU says it never offered to disclose Israel investments, despite protesters' claims. The university responded to a series of on-campus demonstrations which alleged the administrators had prepared to detail NYU's investments and endowment, but nope. We need to invest in the child-killing country.
Vaughn from Wisconsin. Hey, MR Crew, are you going to zoom out and get granular in the fun house? We're going to get fucking granular. I listened to that yesterday.
I gotta say, like, it's there's something about Ezra that I do like and have since like 2008, and then I just can't agree with him on stuff.
Good for him. Good for him for coming on the show. I mean, that's. I thought that Sam did a good job, kind of trying to nail him down a little bit.
I'll say I heard some alternate stuff about, say, Austin and housing from people who live there than maybe was put in that book. So,
well, it was interesting. Like, Sam would talk about money and he would change it to power. And
Ezra viewed the money conversation as a conversation about cost and not power, which I wanted to credit the guy on Blue Sky who pointed that out, but I thought that was a very succinct way to put that.
It felt like, we're looking at the mechanisms of how change happens or change doesn't. It's like looking at the failing machinery as opposed to the machine, I guess. Like, when we're getting, there's a way to get granular where you miss the forest through the trees. And I feel like that's the frustration with the book.
Well, there's like a taxpayer money needs to be put efficiently thing that, like, I'll be honest, like, there's plenty of money to make stuff. I kind of don't care how much it costs. But Ezra seems pointedly, this is from Leland Johnson on Blue Sky, Ezra seems to pointedly latch on to money as cost rather than as power. I think that was what Sam was trying to pin him down on. That's a good way to put it.
Greg from The Verge. I'm very concerned that the terrible actions of Israel are emboldening the actual Nazis. It's quite dangerous. Just look at Candace Owens' downloads and you'll see. Now that she's been unshackled from the Daily Wire, she's basically kind of doing whatever she wants with Israel talk and is just engaging in anti-Semitism, and I think that's why you're seeing an increase in it on the right.
I mean, it's a problem when our media, both in terms of like economics, removes like sort of the class struggle element of workers, and so the only messages people are getting are like pro-speculation and pro-drop shipping. It's the same thing with something like Israel. There's a genocide happening, and the actual righteous voices are having their diplomas withheld. And who are the people being monetized by these tech platforms? It's actual Nazis.
Free speech, baby. Let me know what you think in the comments.